Hey, thank you for joining my Peru and Machu Picchu tour presentation. I'm Billy Moore, and I'm the coordinator for this adventure. Some of you have traveled with me in the past, to China, to Peru, to Egypt. Indus Travel is assisting with this tour arrangement as they have the two previous tours, recently to Egypt and then Peru last year. In all, I've coordinated 4 tours with more than 165 participants. Future planning includes Cuba and Egypt. Overall, the focus of this tour is on Cusco, the Sacred Valley, the Vista Dome excursion, and Machu Picchu. Cusco is our hub for exploring Inca architecture and Inca culture. We'll spend our last day in Lima enjoying the city tour, and then following that, an evening in the city. You can see the tour itinerary here. A complete listing of daily events is on the itinerary document that I've attached to emails I've previously sent you and the ones that I'll send you in the future. You can check there for details. The month of May was chosen for its excellent weather potential. Comfortable days with little chance of rain. Route of flight is nearly due south out of Miami across Panama. Peru is in the same time zone as our East Coast, as Norfolk is. And take a look at the map. Even though it's due south, it's on the Pacific coast, so you'll have a view of the Pacific while in Lima. Travel is on LAN Airlines. LAN is a world-class carrier that serves North and South America, Europe, and Africa. We'll board a modern Boeing 767 aircraft for the 5.5-hour flight to Lima. Seating is a comfortable 2-3-2 arrangement. Our last trip to Peru was on this flight. It was on this aircraft, and I will assure you it was very comfortable, and the service was superb. Notice the departure time from Miami is 2 o'clock in the morning. The early departure enables us to fly to Cusco without having to transfer to a Lima hotel for a short one-night stay and an early morning departure for Cusco. The arrangement effectively gives us an extra day to enjoy Peru. Our return to Miami is on 11 May. We'll get into Miami about 3:15. There'll be time to have your flight scheduled to get you back to your home. Passports are required. They should be valid for 6 months after entry into Peru, and visas and immunizations are not required. The Eco Inn is a comfortable hotel for our 5 nights in Cusco. The hotel is centrally located with easy access to the town center, shopping, and restaurants. Breakfast is provided at all hotels on our stay in Peru. A large market is just across the street from our hotel. It's a fine shopping bazaar for items unique to Peru, and will be everything we see out on the road, traveling in the Sacred Valley and elsewhere, will likely be available in this massive bazaar. You'll enjoy walking around in there. The Cusco Square is a scenic place to spend leisure time and to do some shopping, and certainly for evening dining. The square is just 10-minute stroll from our hotel. The elevation is 11,200 feet. If anyone needs a little sip of oxygen, the hotels will have an oxygen bottle available. It was not a problem for anyone on our previous trip. The day excursion via motor coach to the Sacred Valley provides an unforgettable opportunity to view the Andes with their glaciers and rugged peaks. The Inca architecture in the valley and on the mountainsides is most impressive. The scenic beauty of the valley and its native culture are highlights of the tour. In the valley, we will visit the Pisac Market. The color and crafts will be memorable. Keep your camera at the ready. Native dress is very much standard throughout the valley. A 2-hour train excursion will deliver us to a small village of Aguas Calientes at the base of Machu Picchu on day 4. The service on the train is superb. The scenery is really exciting. From the El Mapi Hotel, we will have the opportunity to explore the village and enjoy the hot springs. We'll have a whole afternoon to explore this quaint village. Dinner is included this evening at the El Mapi. For those that wish to partake, the springs are located an easy stroll from the hotel. I'm looking forward to hopping into this. I've never been in a hot springs. On day 5, we have the entire day to explore the Machu Picchu site. Built in 1450, the site was occupied for about 100 years until the Spanish conquest began, and then it was evacuated to save it from the Spaniards. It was rediscovered by an American about 100 years ago, and the site was restored and became a World Heritage Site, and certainly a bucket list item. Note that Machu Picchu is about 3,000 feet lower than Cusco. It makes the time in Cusco beneficial to getting acclimatized for the altitude, and when you go to Machu Picchu, you'll actually be 3,000 feet lower. Take a look at the peak there in the background, Huayna Picchu. The next slide will address that. Huayna Picchu is an adjacent peak about 1,000 feet above Machu Picchu. Impressive structures and terraces were built on the seemingly impossible terrain. I will organize an optional climb to the summit for those that might be interested in joining me. Last year I climbed the other adjacent peak, and the other adjacent peak was more challenging. This looks forbidding, but believe me, it's very doable. It takes a little less than 2 hours to reach the summit, and the view from up there is spectacular, and the ruins are just beautiful. It's an optional climb. I doubt I'll have many going with me. On day 6 in Cusco, we have an open day. Individual or group tours can be arranged with local agents to continue exploring the area around Cusco. There's numerous areas to explore, and I think the cost of the tours will be very reasonable. On the next morning, after breakfast, we'll fly back to Lima for an overnight stay there. Upon that return to Lima, we'll spend one night at this hotel. The following morning, after an early breakfast, we'll head to the airport and depart for our trip home. But our hotel here is centrally located, and it's going to give us an opportunity for shopping and enjoying restaurants in the evening, either around the square or down on the ocean front. Plus, during the afternoon, we'll have a tour of the city. It'll be very interesting for cathedrals and government buildings, and be quite impressive. Just a quick look at Peruvian soles. 10 is probably the smallest bill you'll see. It's worth about $3. Smaller than 10 are coins. You'll see the American or the U.S. value out to the left in the blue. The largest bill you'll see is 200 soles, or maybe a 500 occasionally. This is a conversion chart. Don't worry about it here. I will update it and provide a good table for you before the trip starts. The money exchanges in Peru are readily available in Cusco and Lima. And currently, and has been for the past few years, the dollar is positioned very favorable to the Peruvian sol. it'll give us some good buying power down there. Dress very much like you would if you were touring a historic site in the U.S. Suggest you bring light rain gear to use in the event of a shower. You can expect comfortable temperatures during the day, but bring a light jacket for cooler evenings. Insect protection is not needed in the city, but may be needed at Machu Picchu. You can obtain a spray locally or bring some with you. Bus transportation from the valley up to the mountain, up to the Machu Picchu site, will get you there without any climbing. And once you get there, any climbing is very moderate, just walking around the site. You're at a high point here where this picture is shown, but you don't necessarily have to go to that site. But do wear adequate shoes for dealing with irregular terrain in some spots. Double occupancy price is $2,525. For those seeking a roommate, I will coordinate as I have successfully done on the previous 4 trips. Indus requires 20 participants to make this trip happen. I have probably 12 that are committed at this point. And I will keep all people that indicate an interest, I'll keep them advised on where we stand in that regard. I need a full commitment by 1 February to ensure that these flights and hotel bookings are finalized. Remember, 1 February is the cutoff date for payment. An extended stay is possible. Just let me know, and Indus can coordinate, or you can coordinate on your own. When we were in Egypt last September, Indus coordinated for 3 ladies that elected to stay on in Egypt and continue the touring for about a week after the group left. It worked out well for them. So, here we are at the end. Please do not hesitate to contact me with any questions. I'm readily available on the phone or in email. Hopefully, you'll join me on this great adventure and tick off a bucket list item. There's no better site in the world than Machu Picchu. If you did nothing but sit on that rock there by me and looked at the site for a half a day, it would be worth the trip. It's as impressive as the Grand Canyon, as impressive as the Great Wall, as impressive as the Pyrmids. It is a beautiful place. For all that are going on the tour, we will meet at my home to get acquainted sometime before the trip, probably about a month out. And I want to thank you for viewing this presentation. Again, contact me if you have any questions, and please get your reservation form in, if not full payment, as soon as you can comfortably commit to this trip. Thank you.